Taking the lead of the pen in our tech note this morning as we continue on with Morning at AtNTV. It is a look at the violence that has been gang-related in the most recent days through the festive seasons. Welcome aboard our tech note. I am Priscilla Regina Naluoga. Our focal point is going to be on changing images of gang violence among the youth and also youth gang violence and what are the preventive measures that should be this or even for the near future, given the fact that we're going to an electoral cycle to manage these young people. Also putting into consideration that UBO's report of 2024 does indicate that we've had a population growth for the young people. And so it begs the question, what is the burden of this population on the government's arms? The art of music is one of those that receives a broad public, political as well as academic attention. Recently, it had dominated discussions about young people's behavior, that integrity and its possibility. Now, the recent clashes between gangs affiliated with the Ugandan musicians Palazzo and Alien Skin, I know that you've been seeing those across all your social media platforms, your YouTube channels, your TikToks, and these have raised a lot of concern. Why? Because they have actually escalated street violence and ghetto gang war. The new trend is proving disturbing, calling for a proactive approach and illuminated effort in addressing those looming crime to prevent further damage. So we want to see how can we prevent further damage. What has been done has been done. However, what is the solution moving forward? Well, privileged to have this conversation with one of the government leaders, a State Minister for Children and Youth Affairs, joining us for this discussion, and that is Minister Balaam Barugahara. Good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Mama Naluoga.
It starts off very hectic for you. The young
Indeed.
people are starting to give you a headache already.
But it's part of the role.
Yeah.
But it's a growing concern. The indiscipline among young people. It's a very growing concern to government and to society. And for us who benefit from the art sector, it will affect our collections in the long run if we don't address it.
Yeah.
But this is purely brought due to a number of reasons. We should look at those reasons before we blame these young people.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is we are doing an industry where there are no regulations. The regulations have not been in place.
This is the music industry.
The music industry.
Yeah.
So everyone wakes up in the morning, he talks, he gets a beat, papa, you put a beat, and then you call yourself an artist, and then at the end of the day, you think you are big, you're bigger than police, you're bigger than everybody. So it is time now that now we have worked on the corporate law. Also we need to work on the regulation, the policy of how people should behave, how people should relate. So it has been a weakness on our side as government. But now with this, we can't wait to see our country turn into Haiti. Okay. We cannot allow that.
Minister, let's make assessment of the reason as to why we come to this discussion. Over the festive season, you do have the gangs of Palazzo and Alien Skin boiling into physical violence, resulting into injury, damage to property, and of course much has been said by the entire world. Opinions left, right, and center. It begs the question: what can be done to tone out this violence?
No. Number one, what I think we should do as government is to establish industrial standards. The regulations I was talking about. Once you don't have industrial standards, once you don't have the regulations, then you are wasting time. So we must sit together as government, National Cultural Center, UNCC, the people who run the sector of art, Minister of Gender through the Ethics and Integrity Minister. As I was coming in, I was speaking to Honorable Peace Mutuzo. We need to establish industrial standards, one. Two, we need to have mentorship programs to mentor these young people. You see, they should not copy what happens in Jamaica or what happens elsewhere. Right. We should have morals as Ugandans, and we should have morals as Africans. That how do Africans behave? Once you do not have morals to follow, then you'll be having a problem. Then also we need to promote responsible messaging. One of the causes of arrogance or one of gang establishment are these messages, social media influences. Once someone does something funny, they will talk about it. Programs like Livewire will promote it. They will say, he did ABCD. So once we do not change the messaging system, the communication and the role of TV and the role of media and role of social media, then violence will proceed. Violence will expand. Then also we need to encourage positive. We need to support responsible social media practices. That one I've already mentioned. Then we need to collaborate with influencers, reward the best performing artists, the best displaying artists. Like we used to have the Power of Music Awards, where people would be appreciated for their contribution. Now Power of Music Award ended, so the time is now Isaac Amulindwa and the group and Sechans and the Aga Sekalala to rethink, because they have they registered the Power of Music Award. So the time is now for them to rethink of how can we yes. Then also we need to recognize, just like I've told you, and reward the best displaying artist. If you are to ask me who's your best displaying artist at the moment, I think I will tell you Lord Freddy Sewata or Silver Chagulanyi. So why?
But dear Minister, those are secondary solutions that you're giving us for a problem that is a primary issue for us as a society. We're talking about a population which is seemingly a growing population. You're talking about young people. You earlier mentioned the word morals, and us as Africa, we should have morals. The indication of this shows that we don't have morals. And I beg to say that this is just a tip on the iceberg. Let's look at historical fights that we have seen before. The gangs of Chameleon versus Bebe Coal that have resulted into shooting each other, into some people falling off the roofs and things like that. The gangs between Chameleon and then Bobby Wine, then at the time as an artist. And so it seems that violence is one of the ways that these young people actually pick up popularity as artists.
You see, just like I want to tell you, whatever is coming up, what we need is having proper and the better role models. The role models we have now, I will give you an example of a young man who joined Kampala Parents. Fresh Kid. So who's Fresh Kid is role model? So we have had wrong role models. Chameleon under Leon Island, Bebe Cool under Gagamel, Boboina under Firebase Crew. Their gangs were not bad gangs. They were gangs to compete on music. They never went to this extreme of attacking someone.
Yeah, but there was always some bit of fight to.
Yeah, they never. You see, with need of. I told you the biggest challenge is social media influence. So that is one of the cause. So someone will do something funny because he wants to be talked about. Someone will do something funny because he's looking for likes. What would make you walk to someone's compound without fear, without even mask, without anything? You walk in someone's compound, say, I'm here to display you, and you destroy all the property. Yeah, I mean, that is social media influence. So that is one of the causes that we need now responsible. Uganda Communication Commission, time has come for them now to promote responsible social media use. When you call a gang a fool, there is a fool who one time went to Kamocha during elections and fired the bullets into a registered political party. Was that Mzei's order? Was that the president? So these people, some of them are just indisciplined. The way they have been brought up in their family, it is a problem. And it leads to undermining the art sector. Then also people want to succeed. So pressure to succeed. So pressure to succeed will make an artist feel like I should do anything to compromise their values to gain fame. So that is another concern that we need to have. However, you cannot have that unless you have regulations. So we need to work on regulations too. The time is now for police to disband all gangs. No musician should be allowed to move with more than 10 people. Should move with 4 people. How many people does Beyonce move with? Yes, how many? Because I know why we like Beyonce. Beyonce, she's our sister-in-law here in Uganda. So everyone wants Beyonce. How many people does she move with? Yes, they should hire professional security. Counterterrorism on an event like that is willing to offer 4 bodyguards to lead you because you will pay to public service. You pay to the vote and they protect you to the concert. Because these artists are paid 3 to 4 million, 5 million. They can afford 50,000 times 4 professional guards to deliver you, perform, leave the stage and go home. So, I mean, the pressure to succeed is the most important thing. People will do anything to gain fame. So once you do not address the pressure to succeed, and once you don't have the right role models, the role models, they want the standard of Kafero, Sevata, and the Vasude. They used to sing meanings. Nowadays, someone says in Kudi, someone sings Kwepicha.
Yeah, but maybe that's because the times they are in are quite different. The times of the Lord Sevatas were times of war, times of family separations, times of HIV/AIDS, which is not the case today. The challenges and problems of young people today are quite different from then. So the relationship that you're trying to draw for us.
No, what we need to do, Naroga, as parents, we need to install morals. We need to teach our young people. We need to give them Christian value of respect your neighbor, do not kill, do not steal, do not admire what doesn't belong to you, work hard, live within discipline. I've given you an example of Silver Chagulanyi. I've never heard of Silver Chagulanyi quarrel, fight, text. Silver Chagulanyi is not an old man. He was in music. He felt music, okay, I'm a good songwriter. I can do good gospel music. I can do good love music. But now the time is now to go back to school.
Okay.
So we should encourage workshops and education for all our artists.
In that regard, you have brought in the aspect of the primary caregivers of the population that we're talking about,
Yes.
the parents and the guardians. In your capacity under the Ministry of Gender and Labour Social Development, how are you intending to actually push this conversation to the parents so that they can take on the responsibility? Because like it or not, because they have to meet the demands of keeping up with the family, they have had to lose grip on watching out and grooming their children into those values.
We had a top management meeting yesterday with colleagues, ministers, and the Minister of Gender. We all agreed that the time is now to have responsible parenting, to have responsible counseling, to arrange workshops and trainings for the art sector. We should not look at this problem as a Balaam's problem or Peace Mutuzo's problem. It is a national concern. If we don't address it, our country may turn into Haiti, our country may turn into Jamaica, lawless states, where every person who has 1,000 gang will go and attack someone who doesn't have a gang and conquer and take someone's woman because you have money. So all those other things, we have agreed in the principle. We have to empower National Culture Center, the people responsible for the artist sector. We need to advocate for a more budget for them to reach out to these artists and also encourage them to go to school. Because whoever went to school cannot behave the same way like someone who never went to school. Your approach into doing things are totally different. If you went to school, you'll respect, you'll even know where not to go. Even you'll understand the law, because the laws are clear. If you go to someone's place and damage property, there is a law you are breaking. Yes, if you beat somebody, they will charge you an assault. But malicious damage of property is a crime. But do they know that it is a crime? They will know it is a crime when police is hunting them down. Why would you go and beat? Why should you go and beat somebody? Why should you honestly beat a colleague? Why should you behave in a very funny way? Okay,
you have made mention of the law, and it begs the question on the directive that was passed that moving forward as artists, people should move with 4 people, the artist being the 5th person, if they need to move with quote unquote a gang for whatever reasons and purposes that be. It begs the question, you yourself and other leaders in government have always said we have the best laws in the land, the best directives, but implementation is always falling short. How does the implementation for this directive look like?
This is what we are looking at. It will be a multi-sector approach. National Cultural Center, the promoters Association, Federation, the Uganda Communication Commission, Uganda Police. We are going to set up a joint task force and KCCA, all the local councils where these events are carried out. So we are going to set standards which must be adhered to and followed. And the promoters have gone ahead to, we have set regulations, and even we have punished. We are the first to punish before police could punish. We agreed as promoters that all musicians who are involved in the recent crashes, both in Nkuka and the other venue, should be suspended for a period of 90 days pending police investigation. Whoever is found as a ringleader or as the root causer of that issue will be suspended for a period of another extra 9 months to make it a year. With such discipline put in place, I believe our artists will change. We need to promote positive values to the industrial players. But you will not do it unless we sit regularly to update the recurring situations and the recurring solutions.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are going to sit. We are sitting. We are discussing with the security, and then also now regulations. I had the UNCC coming up with the regulations. National Culture Center coming up with the regulations yesterday. They are now saying artists should not move with more than 5 people to the concert. That one the promoters had already pronounced it. Then the police has come up. We don't want to see any more gang, someone moving with 5 cars without exhaust pipes, shouting and inconveniencing other road users. All those indisciplines should stop. We should not apply the law unequally. All artists are equal, and whoever does whatever is doing should be held liable. In our government, the government we serve, we shall not associate with any artist who has indiscipline.
Yeah, but there seems to be favoritism in this situation. The case of Alien Skin, his suckers, he seems to have leniency when it comes to application of the law for his side, and it's been really largely blamed on his political affiliation, hence the impunity on his actions. Is he that special to the government?
You see, Alien Skin does not belong to NRM. As you could have noticed recently, Alien Skin signed a pact to an alliance with the Right Honorable Mpuga, the former leader of opposition, who has his umbrella Democratic Alliance. So Allen Skin is a member of the Democratic Alliance, but should he choose to join NRM, is very much welcome. But in NRM, we are not going to tolerate indiscipline whatsoever. And it's not only Allen Skin. Any artist who wants to associate with NRM, you should have the best responsible behavior. We need the best behavior in NRM. The president cannot tolerate any form of indiscipline. That is why some artists who are very much indisciplined they are not performing for a period of now 2, 3, 4 years because of indiscipline. The message you sing, if you are inciting violence in the public,
so this is a person who has been inciting violence, not just over the festive seasons, but throughout the course of this year in particular.
just like I've told you,
we want to understand
now the
why
time is now. Whatever you are, you see, you can do whatever you do, but the time comes up and you are cornered. Now they have been cornered in their own game. They have been cornered. NRM does not promote criminality. NRM does not promote stupidity. NRM does not promote arrogance. NRM does not promote impunity. NRM is against impunity. Even the organization, you see, we started our small organization, which started as small, now it's big, the Patriotic League of Uganda. We said we zero tolerance to corruption, but not only corruption, and the root causes of corruption, one of them is impunity, arrogance, I know somebody, Nimanyogo, Gambanogo, all that one has been stopped. So we've been advocating for equality and fairness. So for Alien Skin or any other artist who think is above the law because you support NRM, the time is now you rethink. They would rather rethink. I want to thank Honorable Mpuga. I saw him, Right Honorable Mpuga, I saw him crediting himself for transforming one of the artists who was wasted. He made him very responsible. He made him even a candidate, either parliamentary or presidential. He has made many of them, and he pledged he's going to make Allen Skin the same. So I want to thank Honorable Mpuga. You see, this problem is, it is for everybody. But hardened skin does not belong to any RM. Okay. So you can't say his impunity or his behavior will be associated with any RM that is doing it because he supports any RM. No, he doesn't. But he's willing, if he's willing to support any RM, any RM or patriotic league will welcome everybody. Okay. Whoever wants to join any RM can join any RM. But arrogance, we are against that.
Still looking at the politics of the day, politics seems to crop its way into everything, and the music sector is not any, different from that force of politics. We have seen musicians wanting to affiliate with politicians. We have seen politicians wanting to affiliate with musicians. We're getting into the electoral cycle, and we get to see that these relationships constantly build or mold each other throughout electoral seasons. But then more so when it comes to penetrating ghettos, we have seen politicians using artists to penetrate ghettos. The NRM has used that as a very strong tool to penetrate the ghettos most recently. But then again, what does it speak into also gang violence that we are seeing increasing?
What did you just, I beg your pardon?
I'm talking about the penetration of politics. Of
politicians into ghettos.
Yeah.
You see, just you could notice, like you mentioned at the very beginning, the youth demography or the populational demography, the youth numbers are raising. Most of the youth who are raising look for affordable housing units. And these affordable housing units are found in Gaza, in Katanga, in some of these communities. The Budongo community, the Budongo house communities. So what you need to understand is everyone will look for where the population is. But then NRM has come in, is putting in place a program of empowering and lighting ghettos. Ghettos should not be dark corners where crime will be committed. So by associating with those dark corners, the before dark corners, which are now becoming proper living places. I'll give you a sample of Kamocha. Everyone knew the fire base was in Kamocha. Kamocha was for bangi smokers and the drug abusers. But now when you go to Kamocha, people, the former ghettos now, they are doing the dry cleaners, their restaurants, lodges, different things have come up. So the more politicians reach out to ghettos, we shall know the challenges of these young people, the disadvantaged communities. So the more we know the challenges of the disadvantaged community, is the more we shall resolve whatever problem is in place. Me, I want to inform you, Antina Ruoga, that everything will be done under the new regime. Everything will be done under the current regime. Either Patriotic League of Uganda or National Resistance Movement or any organization that will rule Uganda, we are starting on a solid foundation set by the President, by His Excellency. So this solid foundation, the current solid foundation, we can work on it. Transformation of ghetto is we must reach to the ghettos. We must associate with the ghettos. We must work with the ghetto stakeholders. This morning, after your interview, Fik Gaza is coming with his cabinet to meet me. He wants to talk about the challenges they are meeting in their Gaza community in Machingi. So he's coming, says, Honorable, give us time, we want to read for you our resolution, our New Year's plan. What do we want? How can we transform our communities? How can we remove pickpocketing and any form of criminality? So ghetto populations, ghettos will grow, even in Soweto, in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, largest cities, including London, have ghettos. In Nairobi here, we have the largest ghetto. Slums. But when you are to win an election for mayor of Nairobi or anything, the place to pick the votes is there. So we can't keep picking votes from there without associating with them. Associating with them, it means now we should know their problems on a day-to-day basis. So we are noting their problems and we are working on those problems and we are going to fix the problems. Ghetto community, just like any other Ntinda community or Naguru, Upper Scale or Kororo, we are all Ugandans. So when applying the things that will improve our lives, we should apply them equally. So I want to appreciate the President that he no longer looks at the ghetto as a crime center to deploy police, but now he looks at ghetto as stakeholders. That's where wherever he's going, is opening up their circles, is allowing them to go and train in the Presidential Skilling Institutes, is also giving them capital to start circle. On top of the PDM money, but they're also now opening circles. Like in Imbale, the other day they got 100 million for their circle.
Okay.
So we are looking forward the same day we go to Kamocha, the ghetto youth also form a circle. In Machindia, they form a circle. Rubaga, they form a circle. Nakawa, where the ghettos are, so that we give them money. Instead of going on the street to snatch phones, they should now focus on productivity.
All right. Seeking clarity on a directive that had been given, or the ban for the two artists, 90 days. Is that for their local performing acts, or does it include the international performing acts?
We don't regulate the international performances. Every country has its regulations. For us, we're talking about the promoters who believe in the Promoters Federation. Okay. You could even find someone who's not a member of Promoters Federation, may go ahead and organize them. But it is now upon police either to cooperate and promote what we are doing, all right, promote discipline, or disregard discipline. Why should the police offer permission to someone who's promoting an artist whom we know is violent? So violence must be stopped, and the only way to stop violence is saying no to impunity, saying no to arrogance. Okay. People should live in discipline. We should promote the arts professional.
Speaking of promoting, you yourself are a promoter. What is going to be the impact of some of these decisions and directives on the promoters generating incomes from events and concerts?
You see, if we do not tackle this growing indiscipline, people will run away. While I was growing, I used to see Express and KCC and Vida and Zambia, Coffee FC. They used to have huge crowds in the stadiums. They started stoning each other. So responsible people abandoned going for Premier League or local league. They abandoned going for sports. So if the art industry does not check this root cause and the growing indiscipline and dismantle all the gangs, then you are going to have a problem. People will not come for the concert. So what will happen to Bebe Cool? You will not have money. You will sing and no one will come to see your concert because you never controlled arrogance. So we need to put the laws in place. We need to have the regulations honored and respected, and we need to work as a team. This is not a Balamu's project. It is not General Moses' project or Bobby Wine's project. It is about Uganda. The art sector is one of the largest employees, currently employing so many people, and they don't need the capital from government to start singing. For them, they will sing, look for their studio, make a song. I was watching a young girl who sang Nawolovu. Now, this girl, you can't organize a concert without calling Nawolovu. What's her name? Yes. That girl, everyone will say, you bring me the other girl of Nawolovu. Yeah? So there is another one who sang in Kudi, Lili Puzzle, and others. So these young people become rich by creating a song and then make dances, and then people love what they are doing. Okay. So at the end of the day, we need not to look at as art sector. One, it is reducing on the pressure on government because people are self-employed, they sing, they manage themselves, and also they are contributing to the tax base because every time you organize a concert, revelers will come for your concert. Right. They will drink beer. Minister,
as we close this conversation, projecting the political year that is before us, evidence from past situations has shown that violence and youth are usually at the center of an electoral cycle for us here in Uganda. It begs the question, as a ministry, as government, what role are you going to be playing to ensure that maybe this time round this can be different?
My message to the public, and this year's message, I've encouraged young people to desist from drug abuse. I've encouraged young people to desist from politics of identity. I'm encouraging young people to desist from getting used by politicians, doing illegal things. And I'm also encouraging young people to practice tolerance in politics. You see, I want to set an example, and I've set it. When I was made a minister, I should have advanced NRM's things that NRM people want to hear. When I became a minister, I said my first assignment is to ensure that no people are released. No nationality platform, an organization I don't believe in, an organization that is believed in by some. But these are young people of Uganda. So I'm a minister for all young people. So I said they must be released. So I stepped in and started the negotiation. supporting them with their legal practices and all these other things. Strategic guidance. I guided them strategically. Then I pleaded with the president to pardon the young people. So still I'm appealing to the young people that regardless of your political party affiliation, we should promote responsible politics which benefits all stakeholders. Politics which does not harm, politics which does not disturb, politics which does not disregard or abuse elders in society. What causes some of those so-called arrests, which people like calling kidnaps, is indiscipline. Once you are indisciplined, you abuse somebody who is bigger than you, he will discipline you. Okay. And we don't behave in the same way as people in power or as people in society. So whether you're in NRM, whether you're in opposition, let us promote brotherhood. Politics is just those identity that I'm a member of the bus, okay, or I'm a member of Patriotic League, or I'm a member of NUP, or a member of FDC. It will end after election. We should not hate people because of their political party affiliation. So young people, wherever you are, participate in elections. Electoral Commission will be putting the registers up for display. Go and update your details and your polling station. Go and vote. Let's go and vote. Okay. Let's go and reclaim whatever you think is not moving right. Participate in an election, but let's do responsible election where we respect all stakeholders.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister Balam, for those words of encouragement and also your oversight for affairs with the young people, speaking into the gang violence that has been on the rise most recently. Now, as we wrap up affairs here in Morning at NTV, Tuesday's edition, we do have a